Hey everybody, this is Whiskey, and this video is going to be about the Tyrannosaurs of Gondwa. There's three Tyrannosaurs that I've been playing almost exclusively the last few weeks. The C-Rex, the OG Rex, and the PT Rex. So I put together some videos here, some highlights of these experiences that I've had that I wanted to share with you all, and I hope you enjoy. And we'll start off with the C-Rex, or the Cursed Rex. I've got a video on this already. I'll put a link in the description below, but I went over in detail all of its moves and stuff. That was back when it was first introduced to the Apex Killers community server, and then George, the owner of the server, since removed it, and then now he's brought it back. He did some balance changes with it. It has some new abilities. It can actually jump now. On its back leg slot, it's got a jump. So he reworked the profiles on it, balanced it out a little bit. The female one is a solo playable that is got 8,000 combat weight and I think like 1,000 or a little more health than that. So it's just it's a solo only playable, and it's a beast. It's the kind of the final boss type beast to play on this server. They are semi-aquatic, but they're very, very strong. So I enjoy playing it. It's a really fun creature. You might have, in my other video, I was talking about how when it first came out, I didn't like him at all. I thought it was just gross. It's a semi-aquatic fire-breathing Rex, and Clayton, the mod creator, like basically threw everything in the kitchen sink on this thing. He's got like tons of just creative abilities, all very unique and creative abilities on this thing. And it was like, how can we make the most powerful creature in the game? And this is what they came up with. And it's pretty cool. I was against it at first just because it was such I don't know, kind of a ridiculous creature, and it was sort of a meme, and it was kind of like making fun of, all the abilities and everything you can do with the game. I kind of thought it was sort of almost a satire creature. But I wanted to go around killing them, so I started playing one to figure out what its weaknesses were and stuff like that, so I could figure out the best thing to go and take them out with. And I ended up kind of just falling in love with it, actually, and I mained it for like 3 weeks straight when it was on the server, and I had a lot of fun with it. So it's back now. George had to remove it for a little bit. Now it's back. It's got the jump. So I've been playing it again and just been having a lot of fun on it. And I find myself playing solo a lot in this game. So it is fun to have a solo, a creature that is viable, that's a carnivore that you can play solo. There's a lot of big herbivores you can play when you're solo too, but you can't really hunt anything with them. So I like a lot of action, so I like to play carnivores where I can hunt stuff and ambush things. And this is a great choice. So I've been playing it again, and I wanted to bring you some of the highlights. And by the way, I gotta say, the C-Rex actually it's like a lot of the fantasy creatures. When I first see them, like the spear crest and some of these fantasy creatures, I think, okay, this is like, what is this thing, And I'm not real fond of them. But then they sort of just like grow on me, and they fit in. Like this thing has actually fit in nicely with this server, and with the community and all the different playables and the way it's balanced and stuff like that. So it's kind of like just part of the world now. I just kind of consider this sort of a fantasy world, and this is one of the creatures that lives here, and you can play it. So, and it can be fun. So anyway, I started playing it again, and this first clip here, I included this just because there's kind of a one of my pet peeves in this game is how this Triceratops player is behaving behind me. This great Triceratops that you see is one of the strongest herbivores in the game. The thing is very, very hard to fight, and they do a lot of damage. And so most people don't want to fight them. And you'll get these kids that like to get on that thing, and they get bored because nobody's fighting them because the things are so strong, And so they try to go and they provoke fights. And like you'll see this guy, he's walking up to people and he's like meshing his character into them. He did it to me a couple of times, and I've been ignoring him. But he's trying to provoke an attack, and so that he can kill somebody, because he knows that the thing's just a super overpowered creature. And he figures if he can annoy somebody enough to trick them into biting them, then he has license to kill them. And it's, it's it's loopholing a herbivore, a super powerful herbivore. You need to play the herbivore as a herbivore, and if somebody wants to attack you, they will, and you fight those people. But don't do stuff like this and try to bait somebody into attacking you, and then just go off and kill them and say, oh well, he attacked me, so I killed him. What if the person doesn't want to fight you? What if I was trying to hunt something else, which actually I was in this case. You can see I was starving, and I was getting ready to go set up an ambush on another dinosaur that I had seen around in the area. That other C Rex was DB Giga was one of the ones I wanted to fight. But this dude, is walking up and meshing into people and getting into their personal space and just kind of ruining the whole thing. And it's like, all right, I finally just bit him because I was like, all right, I'm just going to fight this guy because I got the water right here. So you can see how much damage that he does. And I'm just going to use the water to stay away from him and, maybe do a little bit of damage to him and see if he's weak enough to go off and heal somewhere and kind of get him out of the area for at least a little while so I can go hunt. But lucky for me, this guy not only was trolling and trying to bait attacks, but he was actually not the brightest player either and decided to come and swim with me in the water with a semi-aquatic fire-breathing Rex. And so I got lucky and was able to finish this fight here and get this guy out of the area. But I just shared that to say, like, don't behave this way, please. It is so annoying, and it doesn't contribute to the fun of the game. You're just basically being selfish, and you're ruining other people's times so that you can get a kill or something like that. Like, and it's a rule break to go and bait attacks on a herbivore like that. He shouldn't have even been doing that. So anyway, I thought that was funny how it ended. I wanted to share that with everybody because he kind of got karma there. This is a couple of clips here of actually showing how powerful the C-Rex is. You can actually take on Apado players. These are probably not the most experienced Apado players, but the Apado's a strong creature, and anybody that hops on an Apado is a threat, even if you're a brand new Apado player, because that tail does so much damage. But I got really lucky here because I think this player didn't realize that I was semi-aquatic, and so they were trying to use the water to get away from me, and it actually worked out in my favor because I could do this. Just outmaneuver him like very easily in the water. The C-Rex is really, really strong. That thing outweighs me and outdamages me, so I do have to be careful. And you can see the kind of damage that it's doing. Even when it's not a great player, they can almost kill you if you're not careful. And then after that, I came downstream and I saw another Apado. I went ahead and healed up on that body, and when I got off the body, I came downstream and I saw this guy. So I thought, I'll try it again, round 2 with the Apado, and see if I can maybe fight one on land that's a little more experienced and see how it goes. And again, I got lucky that he stayed near the water, so I could use the water to maneuver around a little bit. At this point, when he goes up in between these rocks right here, I was going to just back off, really, because they do a lot of damage, and if they're smart and they get up on land and they play wisely, then it's going to be a pretty challenging fight. So I was considering just letting him go and going to hunt something else. But he comes back down. So I thought, all right, as long as I have the river here, I've got an advantage. I'll take it, and I'll fight this guy if he wants to fight. If you can keep your head up in their body like that and avoid the tail's still going to hit you, but it doesn't count as a headshot, so you're in good shape if you can keep your head away from the tip of that tail. and I'm just kind of hoping to tank him here. And it paid off in the end. I got lucky that he was using kick attacks too, and not just tail attacks. This is a 1v1 against another C-Rex. On this server, you don't tolerate, the female C-Rexes don't tolerate each other, so you have to fight on site. So this one showed up, so we had to fight. That stomp does a lot of damage, so you do have to avoid that. And then the fire does not do a lot of damage, so that really tipped the scales in my favor, dodging that stomp, and then the fact that he's trying to use fire instead of biting. I'll out DPS him. Bite versus fire always wins, and plus I was wet, so he didn't even burn me anyways. And it never ceases to amaze me how many players try to use fire, like even in the water or against semi-aquatic players or players that are, swimming. I mean, or if it's raining outside, like, everybody knows water puts out fire. So fire does nothing if the creature's wet or if it's raining outside, but yet players still use it all the time. So it's kind of funny. So that was my C-Rex clips. I've got some more coming. I've been playing it a lot in the past couple of days, and I got some more highlights coming up. But I also played the OG Rex. Here's some clips on my OG Rex. First fight here is against this great Triceratops that I was able to get an ambush on. These guys, if they sharpen their horns and they get a charge on you, then they can face tank a Rex. But if you can get the drop on them and ambush them, and they don't have time to use their call, and you have your call available, then you'll win. But they are very dangerous. This was a clip of some Mapes that came and tried to jump me here. I always like to fight Mapes. Mapes can be difficult, but I've got these cliffs, and if you watch my videos, I love to use the environment. I'm not the best PvP player out there, so I got to use every advantage possible, and I do use the environment. Where I lack in PvP skills, I make up for in my thinking and strategizing and trying to outsmart my opponents. And that's what I'm doing here, because these Mapes are in really bad shape. Their whole play style is hit and run. And if I'm on a ledge like this, they really it shuts them down. It shuts their whole kit down. They're basically forced to face tank me or to deal with me in the water. And neither of those places are. It basically just takes all the advantage away from the Mape. Their entire advantage is being out in the open, and my entire advantage is forcing a face tank. And so that's what I'm doing here. And there's a lot of players out there that love to try to shame you for doing that, and they call you a cliff camper, and they try to call you names and all that kind of stuff. But if that's happening, then I know I'm winning, and I have an advantage, and I'm, going to continue doing that, because that's a great sign for me when they start complaining in global about me cliff camping. I love it, and that just reinforces the fact that I'm outsmarting them, and I'm going to win, and they're either going to give up or they're going to be stupid and try to fight me, and I'll kill them. So that's just encouragement for all you guys that may not be the best PvP players. That's how you can win. Just use the environment, like I always say. I got the opportunity to play with the server owner, George. I don't get that too much because he's so busy. He's got a lot of demands on him, so I always enjoy my time with George, and we always end up, if you've ever played with George, he likes to take the most challenging thing out in the field, and in this case it was the Kamara. So I was super nervous in this fight. I think I bit him a couple of times by accident, but we stuck with it here, and I just listened to George's direction, and we were able to take it out here in the end. You can see George's health. I mean, that was a close one, and that's always a really, really risky fight. But I'll tell you what, man, those fights, the adrenaline rush you get in those fights is amazing. And when you win, it's the best feeling, because it was such a risk. You had such a risk, I kind of tend to fight safe. I like to ambush stuff. I like to put myself in advantageous situations and secure a win. So it is nice to flip the script a little bit and go and try something super challenging. And this is another time when I did that with my friend Coob, or I mean my friend, Lycanthrope, where we decided to take on this Kamara. And now we're on PT Rexes, as you can see. This is my other favorite playable. This is Rupert. This is the one that I've always this is what I started my channel with, and kind of what got my channel popular was playing Rupert on the Arizona server back in the day. And I recreated him here on Apex Killers, and I do play him from time to time. I should play it more because the PT Rex is so good, especially on Apex Killers. It's just such a great dinosaur. You can see the damage that it outputs. It's not as tanky as the OG Rex, and it doesn't do quite as much damage, but it still does a lot of damage, and it's very nimble and fast. And it has the ambush ability. It has this called On Alert, where you can pop it up on the screen. You'll see it here in a minute or two, where you can stalk things, and it shows you the footprints, of the creatures that are around the area that are walking around. So it's a great ambush creature. And I go between this one and the OG Rex all the time. The OG Rex has its advantages. It's got a passive clamp ability now, which is awesome for ambushing smaller things. There's the On Alert right there. You'll see some footsteps out in the forest, and that's what we're tracking right now. And this is how you can stalk and ambush things on the PT Rex. It's the best in the game by far at being a stealthy assassin. You can sneak around through the trees, stay in cover, and you can ambush stuff all day long. And if you're careful, you play like a ninja. It's so much fun. It's my favorite play style, and this is the best at it. You can do it with the OG Rex a little bit too, or you can do it a lot, but it's not as good, but it's super tanky. So when I'm solo playing, especially when I'm playing in Grand Plains, I kind of like to have as much tankiness as I can, because there's a lot of duo apexes out there that are a huge threat. And if you get caught sneaking around, then you're going to need that extra tankiness, in my opinion, to deal with some of the greater threats out there, like duo Karks or Spear Crests or Gigas, anything that can run you down. Big packs of stuff, and there's a lot of them running around out there on the Apex Killers server. So that's kind of why I prefer the OG Rex when I'm solo. However, if I can stay in Birchwoods and stay in cover, I will use the PT Rex as well. And this, you can see we ambushed the Spear Crest when I was with my friend Rampage here, and that was a really fun ambush. So they both kind of have their advantages. They're both really good. I wish the PT Rex had the clamp on the passive like the OG Rex does. And the other thing about the PT Rex is, even though it's faster and can turn better and is nimble, when it does its red herring, it makes a loud noise, and it kind of alerts the players to your presence. And so the OG Rex's surprise attack doesn't have that, so it's a little bit better for that reason. But the nice thing about the PT Rex, as you can see here, is that you can run stuff down, like Gigas. You can keep up with them. I mean, even when they're charging, when you have red herring going, you can, for a short time, keep up with them because your acceleration is good. And when you have the Shatter Stride, it makes it to where you ignore uphill slowdown speed, and so when the Giga starts going uphill, they slow down, and when we're going downhill, I'm speeding up and they're not. So you can see this is a perfect illustration of how it really helps you keep up with the Gigas. And then the stamina on the Gigas, if they're using charge and charge bite and all that kind of stuff, it's going to wear their stamina out almost the same as yours. If they conserve their stamina well, then they're going to have a little more stamina than you. But most of the Giga players don't. They try to get their charge bites off. They use bulldoze and dash or the charge ability, and it does blow their stamina a little bit. So I ran out just before he did, and luckily my partner here had some stamina, and he's going to finish him off there. The other Giga is off healing up because we got a ton of bites on them, and so we were able to separate them, and luckily Coob here had some more stamina than I did. He was conserving his better than me because I was chasing that guy for so long, but I got so many hits on him that that allowed Coob to come over here and finish him off too. So that was a good fight and a great example of Rexes versus Gigas. if they're not super prepared for the Rex fight. It's a great fight. There's a lot of good Gigas out there that can fight us and beat us. So you never know what you're going to get when you're coming up against a Giga player. We just got lucky here that they weren't exactly ready for us because I've fought that Giga player before and they've killed me many times. So they're a good player. I think that we just kind of caught them off guard and caught them by surprise and got the win. And that's really the whole shtick of the PT Rex is be sneaky and ambush. If you can do that, you'll win most of your fights, and it's one of the reasons I love it. And you can see here in this ambush clip, like this person was just kind of having fun in their little Suko, but they're not paying attention. They've got two PT Rexes coming up on them and getting ready to ambush. And even when they're near the water, you can see like it just does so much damage. He's bone broke, he can't really move, and I can even swim with him and kill him. So another ambush here that'll finish off the video. I was showing Honey River how to fight on the PT Rex and how to ambush, and we caught these EX Allos drinking at the pond. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you check out the Tyrannosaurs if you haven't. They're all really a lot of fun. My favorites to play right now. And as always, I hope to see you out there in Gondwa. Goodbye.